So after my freshman year, I don't play a lick. And my daddy calls me on the phone. Raise your hand if you're a father right now. Raise your hand if you're a father. Oh, man, we're going to have some fun. My father called me on the phone. He asked me a question. He said, son, you're not playing. Why not? And I gave my daddy an 18-year-old answer. I said, Dad, college basketball is big business. If you want to know why I'm not playing, Dad, it's because of politics, Dad. It's political. My father said, what? Let me ask you a question, son. How does your coach get paid? Well, I said, Dad, he gets paid to win. He says, okay, son, if your coach gets paid to win, won't he play the players and give him the best chance to win? Dad, I got a question for you. Is mom home? My dad said, go back and do what you said you're going to do, son. You told me you're going to turn this team around. You told me you're going to graduate in 4 years. You told me you're going to play in the NBA. And you told me you're going to make more money in business than you did in sports. Go back and do what you said you're going to do. So I go back to my coach's office, and I ask him a question. Coach, what do I need to do to play in the NBA? He looked confused. He says, Walter, you don't play for me. And this is what I said to him. I said, Coach, next season I'm going to be your most improved player. Next season I'm going to be somebody different. See, if you want to make 20 million and you only want to make 10 right now, you can, but you got to become somebody different. Does that make sense? If you make 15 million and you want to get to 30, you can, but you got to be committed to becoming somebody different. Your business is going to be a reflection of you. If you've been divorced twice, you're the common denominator in both of them. If you want the third one to work, you must become somebody different. Does that make sense to anybody? Coach, what do I need to do to play in the NBA? You know what he said to me? You can't run, you can't jump, you can't dribble, you can't shoot, and you can't rebound, son. Coach, I know I got weaknesses, man. I know. But next year, I'm going to be your most improved player. That off season, I worked in my work. That off season, I got bigger, stronger, and faster. See, in sports, we compete in our season, and in our off season, we work at our work. I recommend that you take an off-season break. I've written articles on it. I've written books on it. Sometimes you got to work in your business, and sometimes you got to work on your business. In sports, in our off-season, you don't work in your industry, you work on your industry. So my rhetorical question for you, when have you taken an off-season? When have you taken a little bit of a break from the rigmarole and give yourself an opportunity not to work in your business, but to work on your business? A lot of you in this room right now need an off season. And I said, Coach, in this off season, I'm going to get bigger, stronger, and faster. I came back that next year, and I was considered the top 6 man in the country. No one in America was better than me coming off the bench. We went to the Sweet 16. That next year, I went back to him. Coach, what do I need to do to play in the NBA? I made exponential improvement. I got off his bench, and now I'm the top 6 man in the country, but I'm not done. What do I need to do to play in the NBA? That list got shorter and shorter. The next year, we go to the Elite 8. So in 2 or 3 years, I go from sitting on the bench to becoming one of the top 6 men in the country, and my team was one of the ranked teams in America. I impacted my organization coming off the bench. So for some of you professionals who think you're overqualified, here's my answer. You're probably the only one who thinks so. But my advice is to keep dominating where you are until everyone else agrees you're overqualified. My senior year rolled around, and that was a preseason, all Big Ten, first team selection. In other words, the entire conference, all the coaches believed if I got a chance to be a star, I can handle it based on me dominating my role off the bench. Is everybody with me? So my senior year, all I had to do, even though I never started, was to have a good year. And I'll walk right into the NBA. First game of my senior year, I break my foot. I come back in 6 weeks, I break my foot a second time. College career's over. I average 7 points a game. I got offered a job to become a hospital administrator. $75,000 job. But then my father called me on the phone. I remember the conversation like it was yesterday. He said, "You had a tough year, son, what's next?" I said, "Dad, I'm going to be a hospital administrator." He said, "Son, let me ask you a question. Do you believe you're an NBA player?" Dad, it's okay. It doesn't work like that. I never started in college. I only averaged 7 points a game. Dad, I'm graduating in spring. I got a $75,000 job. It's okay, Dad. I can move on. I'm not like these other kids. I don't need basketball. It doesn't define who I am. Do you believe you're an NBA player? Because you told me you're going to turn that man's team around, and you did, son. You did it from the bench. You told me you're going to graduate in 4 years, son, and you did it despite all the distractions. You graduated in 4 years. But, son, don't forget, you told me you were going to play in the NBA. And you told me you're going to make more money in business than you did in sports. Do you believe you're an NBA player? My bottom lip started to twitch. And I said, "Dad, is Mom home?" He said, "Son, if you can find one $75,000 job, trust me, you can find another one. But if you believe you're an NBA player, go for it, son. You don't want to live life with regrets." I was 21 years old, and I was able to hear a 52-year-old man give me his perspective. And his perspective made a lot of sense. You're right. I can work the rest of my life. And if I do believe I'm an NBA player, I should go for it. That was my dream growing up. My dream was not to be a hospital administrator. Dad, you're right. I walked back into my coach's office with a cast on my foot. When I knocked on his door, he looked confused because my eligibility is up. And he was setting up a new recruit to come in town to wear my number, to wear my jersey. And I said, "Hold on, coach. Hold on, coach. I need to ask you one more time. What do I need to do to play in the NBA?" He teared up. I teared up. He said, "Man, when I recruited you, I heard you was a mama's boy. But you're not. In fact, you're one of the toughest players I've ever had. You're just like your daddy, man. I'm a Hall of Fame award-winning speaker. That's the greatest compliment I've ever had in my life. Coach, I can talk the rest of my life, but what do I need to do to play in the NBA?" You know what he said to me? He said, "Son, you should be a motivational speaker." I'm an award-winning Hall of Fame motivational speaker because my leader saw something special in me that I didn't see myself. See, you got some young kids working for you who might have a GED, but let me tell you something. They need to hear something special about them that they don't see. They've been hearing their whole lives they're a screw-up in a much stronger form. And they're looking to you to be their inspiration. They're looking for you to be their father because some of them don't have one. Coach, what do I need to do to play in the NBA? I could talk the rest of my life, Coach. You know what he told me? He said, "Son, you got to lose 20 pounds. You know why I talk about an eyeball test? You know why it's so passionate to me? Because by NBA standards, I didn't pass the eyeball test. People meet me and they say, "Well, did you play football or basketball?" I'm 6'5", 305 pounds right now. I know I look good. But I never had a basketball body. And as a result, the NBA didn't want me. They said I looked like a football player trying to play basketball. He doesn't look quick enough. He doesn't look fast enough. I didn't pass the eyeball test. So I know how it can work against you. So when I talk about the eyeball test, Please take advantage of the benefit. Look as good as you can look because it is a powerful dynamic. And I said, Coach, you telling me if I lose 20 pounds, if I can knock down the 3, I can play in the NBA. He says, I think you should be a motivational speaker, son. But that's exactly what I'm telling you. I lost 20 pounds. And every morning I would shoot 500 shots a day. My NBA dream was on life support. I got invited to training camp with the Dallas Mavericks. I was in the best shape of my life. I even had stomach muscles. I don't know where they went. I became the first ever undrafted rookie free agent in the history of the Dallas Mavericks to start opening night. Can you imagine what was going through my mind? I had not started a basketball game since high school, and I get to the NBA arena, and my first NBA game, I'm in the starting lineup, and they started playing that NBA music. Dun, 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 dun. Dun, 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 dun. Dun, 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 dun. And I'm just looking around like, oh my God, oh, I can't believe it. And right before they announced the starting lineup, I told my mom and dad at 11 p.m. the night before. And before they announced the starting lineup, I saw my mom, my dad, my brother and sister frantically running to the arena. They were trying their best to get there before tip-off. And I saw my mama, and she saw me. She says, Walter, Mama baked you a cake. I saw my big sister, and she gave me the Trojan sign. She had on her 2 championship rings, and she raved to Cheryl Miller. Hey, Cheryl, that's my baby brother. I'll see you after the game. I saw my big brother, 2 years older than me. He said, you still got a big head. Then I saw my dad. And tears just dripped down my face. I started once to wipe them away so my teammates didn't see them, but I just got done kicking butt in training camp for a whole month. They knew what nothing about me saw. My father was a quiet man. But when he spoke, he was like, yeah, but. He just pumped his fist and I pumped mine. Thank you for those timeouts. Thank you for making sure I was always home when the streetlights came on. The thing I love most about my dad, and I shared it last night, when I was a little boy, Dad, I'm talking to fathers right now, when I was a little boy, no matter what was going on in my daddy's life, he would always pick me up. All I had to do was give him the signal. Pick me up, Daddy. Pick me up. Pick me up, Daddy. Pick me up. Kids are fascinated being picked up, Mom and Dad, because when we pick up a child, we instantly change their perspective. When we pick up a child, they can instantly see the world the way we see it. My father was 6'6". I love when my daddy picked me up. I could instantly see the world the way he saw it. He could instantly change my perspective. Don't you ever stop picking your kids up. I don't care how old they are. When you can't pick them up physically, that's the symbol God has given us for parenthood. Don't you ever stop picking your children up. Well, Walter, you don't know my son. I don't need to know your son to know your job. I don't care what he's done. He's a drug addict. I don't care. Pick him up. Well, Walter, my daughter's had 4 kids by 5 different men. We'll do the math later. I don't care. Mom, Dad, that's our job, to pick them up and change their perspective. So when I called home and said politics at 18, you know what my father heard? Pick me up, Daddy. I'm tired, I'm frustrated, I've lost confidence. Pick me up, Dad. When I was 21 and about to give up on my dream, you know what my father heard? My boy needs me. Pick me up, Daddy. I've lost confidence. Pick me up, Daddy. I'm tired. Pick me up, Daddy. I'm ready to give up. When I saw my father, I also realized my high school principal made it too. My high school principal was my favorite teacher. He would always tell his students, go for your dreams. Don't live life with regrets. Go for your dreams. Don't live life with regrets. When I got that phone call, that wasn't my daddy talking to me. That was my high school principal saying, go for your dreams. See, some of the people that you're training and developing right now, don't train them to keep them, train them to leave. Train them to leave. And let me tell you what they're going to do for you. They're going to recruit every kid in the area to come and work for you. I got a buddy right now, got raised by drug addicts in Denver, Colorado, who's a PhD. He credits McDonald's for saving his life. He was a college athlete, Catholic college, had no parenting, no training. He was a wild child, and the man said to him, you better go work for McDonald's, and I want you to go through McDonald's University. He said, I'm not flipping burgers. It's not about the burgers, man. You need leadership training. He did what the man told him to do, went to McDonald's, got into management, and went through McDonald's University. And to this day, as a PhD, he tells every kid he meets, go work for McDonald's and go through McDonald's University. It saved my life. Where would I be without my dad? I don't know. Where would I be without my coach? I don't know. You don't have a construction company. You have an opportunity to not just make money, but to make a difference. There's a boys and girls in your community that are begging for an opportunity for someone to believe in them. They are begging for an opportunity for someone to finally tell me what's right with me. Because I've always heard, what's wrong with me? Can you do me one favor? Go and find those kids in your community. Go and find those kids in your town. Go and find those kids in their suburb, and I want you to become their favorite teacher. I want you to become their favorite coach. I want you to be the person that saved their lives. Because if I go around this room and I ask everyone who was your favorite teacher, or who had the biggest impact on you, it will get emotional in here. You'll start talking about your high school football coach. You'll start talking about your third grade teacher. I've done it before. It will get emotional. But here's my challenge. Who in this room can claim that I've been that person for somebody else? Who in this room can honestly say that, man, I got some people that's been with me? I took them out of freaking junior detention. I took them out of juvenile detention. I took them out of prison. I took them off the street, and now they're family. Now they're stable. Now they're successful. People are looking for a place where they can feel special. And if you make people feel special, including your own children, they will run through a wall for you. And then I heard it. Starting that shooting guard for your Dallas Mavericks, 6'5", 215 pounds, from Chicago, Illinois, Walter Bond. I stood up so fast, I got lightheaded. And I literally looked around, and I was like, oh my God, I made it. My dream came true. And that's why I've learned to walk by faith and not by sight. I know life can be tough. And some of you guys have some drama going on right now in your personal life. Some of you guys have drama going on in your family-owned business. Here's my recommendation. Go throw you a pity party and get yourself together and come up with a plan. in this plan is not just to make money, it's to make a difference. So always look like success, always look like money. Make sure you don't communicate with your clients, make sure you connect, and make sure you are likable. And I promise you one thing, if you hire likable people, hire for attitude, train for skill, and tell them what's right with them and not what's wrong with them, I promise you over time, if you keep speaking to that marketplace, if you keep changing that rap, if I go to your website and in 90 seconds, I know who you are, I know what you do, and I know how you do it. If you build a sales culture and build the right mousetrap, I promise you, in 2 years, 3 years, 5 years, if you take that number out your head, you can bust this thing wide open. I got 2 things to give to you. On the screen, I got a free ebook. All you need to do is take out your phone and download this ebook. Please do it now, walterbond.com/31. Don't take a picture, do it right now, it's easy. I wrote a book called The 31 Truths to Boost Peak Performance. I'm giving it to you for free. I believe in the law of reciprocity, and if I had more time, I would teach you the black tie effect. I teach all of my entrepreneurs and business leaders the black tie effect. Peter Cancro and Jersey Mike Subs has bust the sub game wide open. Every one of their franchisees is engaged in a philanthropic local endeavor in their community. It's called the black tie effect. Go to walterbond.com/31, and I want you to download my ebook. I got 31 behaviors that all multimillionaires execute at a high level. So stop updating your cell phone, stop updating your laptop. This book right here is designed for you to update you. There is nothing more important than how you operate in the marketplace. Finally, we have a brand new leadership training. If you would like to get your hands on our leadership training, all I want you to do is hand me your business card as you sign my free book, All But Stink, on your way out the door. Bruce bought you guys some books, so give him a round of applause. I'm going to personally sign each and every book if you want me to, but if you're interested in our leadership training, hand me your business card and just write leadership on the back, and my office will be in touch. We have a whole leadership training that is fantastic, that to me, I said earlier, your business will be a reflection of you. So if you want your business to grow, who must grow first? You. This leadership training is dynamic, and I promise you one thing. There's 5 different segments to our leadership training, and you will never be the same after you experience this leadership. So if you had a good time today, say uh-huh. Uh-huh. If you had a good time today, say uh-huh. Uh-huh. If you're ready to be likable, say uh-huh. Uh-huh. If you're ready to brighten up a room, say uh-huh. Uh-huh. If you're ready to hire likable people, say uh-huh. Uh-huh. If you're ready to tell people what's right with them and not what's wrong with them, say uh-huh. Uh-huh. Thank you. Thank you.